Coach, whenever you're ready, if you want to start with an opening statement, we'll open for questions.
Man, a lot of things went well for us. A lot of things did not go well for us. Missed some opportunities. I felt like there was a stretch where A&M showed their maturity in the fourth quarter and just pulled away from us. And we didn't answer the call. I knew if we wanted to beat A&M today, we would have needed to have a complete game, and we did not. If you look at it, they only made one more field goal than us. We out-rebounded them by 10, but, our turnovers and our fouls, it just killed us.
Courtney?
Coach, when it comes down to it, just looking at the game, like you said, you guys obviously did some very good things,
Yeah.
but, kind of the immaturity when it comes to turnovers
Yeah.
and fouling. Is that what you just think it came down to, was Texas A&M was the more mature team?
Yeah. I really like GB's team. I think that they're another team that we got about 5 teams in the SEC I think can be in the Final Four this year. That's how loaded and how competitive our conference is. And I think they're one of them, and they turned it on when they needed to turn it on. There are some holes that we need to get better at, and we will, and some things we can't get better at until in the off season. So we need to make better decisions. And the situation is, Courtney, we just have to continue to grow, just like you said. You all watched the game. It wasn't like they manhandled us. It was just when it was time to make winning plays, they did and we didn't. And so when you have 6 fifth-year seniors, you can do that.
If I can ask a follow-up question. Only a few games left currently on your schedule before the SEC Women's Basketball Tournament, as that should happen. Where do you think the ceiling is for your team right now as we hit just the tail end of the regular season?
Yeah, well, we're going to try to get these next 2, starting with South Carolina. Call me crazy, but that's our goal, And we have to grow through these games. And then we're going to try to make a run in the SEC tournament. For us, we want to go postseason. So whether it's the NCAA tournament, if we shock one of these. The good thing about us, we're playing really, really good teams. And it's not like we're getting mollywopped, Our net is still high. It'll be high after this game. For my group, we need to continue to play. We need postseason desperately. So we're going to play these 2 games and try to win them. Starting with South Carolina, which is another tough feat, and then we're going to go in the SEC tournament and try to spoil some people's time and just grow, But that's our goal right now. But and that's how we're looking at it. Young team, we don't have a ceiling. It's no ceilings. We really don't, because at any point, we can just really turn it on and continue to grow. I tell you this, you could talk to any coach in the SEC, and then when they see us on the schedule, they're not thinking it's just going to be easy out. So, and neither is Dawn at South Carolina, So they'll be ready to play, and so will we on Thursday.
Right. You mentioned not getting mollywopped by really good teams, going close, up until the fourth quarter with Texas A&M, that 1-point game against Tennessee.
Yeah.
You've had impressive games. So do you guys talk at all about the NCAA tournament and that being a potential possibility, just given the tough opponents you have throughout the season?
Yeah, you have to, because they need to understand what's at stake. And for me, I prefer our team to try to go after something, Sometimes I'm torn about it because I don't know how they're going to react. But I got to tell them the truth, because what I don't want is for us to finish up and then they say, oh, I wish I would have known. Now, that's a fine line, because at any point they can say, oh, we're not getting in the tournament, and then just quit. But I think that's my job, not to let them do that, to stay focused. But we also talk about postseason as well, because I think we can be a very dangerous postseason team. You know, the SEC is a gauntlet. You know it, I know it. Every night is a fight. You know, you watch Tennessee beat South Carolina, then you watch them lose to Georgia today. You know, you watch Arkansas almost beat A&M. And I mean, this thing is just, it's a mess. You know, so every game is a fight. And so that's how good our conference is. And that's how deep our conference is. So if we are granted the opportunity to play postseason in the NCAA or the NIT, we're going to be a tough out.
I'll just ask you one more question. But obviously, you know Shakira Austin's going to be one of your more consistent players, and she had a very good day today with that double-double. But was there anybody else you were specifically looking at to have a big game today that could have really helped you, especially down the stretch?
Yeah, we need Donetta Johnson to come on. You know, she has hit a little rough patch and hadn't been really playing well. You know, just really being young about her approach, and we're trying to get her to mature. She has to mature. You know, she too, in a sense, is a freshman, but not anymore. Like, no one's freshman in February, you know? She starts for us, and I really was expecting her to come on and help us. Madison and Snutter, they're babies. You know, they're 17. You know, like, this thing is a shock to them. But Nana has played a little bit, or at least witnessed what it's like to be in the SEC, and we need her to come on.
Any further questions for Coach?
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, y'all.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Courtney.